Hey friends, welcome back. Today we are working on the letter X. And X is kind of a fun letter, even though there are not very many words that begin with X. X marks the spot is in most pirate stories. So maybe if you have any pirate stories at home, you can read those. That would be really fun. Or you could even set up a treasure hunt at your house and maybe find some red paper or draw a red X where the treasure would be. So let's get started on the letter X. And today for the letter X, for our binder page, you'll need your X binder page. You will need your big black rectangle. There is no cutting today. You will need a white crayon. And you will need glue or tape, however you want to stick this to your paper. Now, parents or kids, if you are watching, go get a parent or a sibling or somebody. You may want to pause the video. For our x-ray paper today, we are going to make an x-ray. Or for our X paper, we're going to make an x-ray. So someone will need to help trace your hand onto this black paper. I traced my little boy Max's hand. He has an X in his name, M-A-X. So if you want to pause the video and get your hand traced before we begin, you can go do that. Perfect. So, like I said, there are not very many words that begin with X. There are words that have X in them, like my little boy Max or exit, but not very many begin with the letter. X kind of makes the sound like Max or exit. But we do have a few. We have an X-ray. Raise a quiet hand if you've ever had an X-ray before. And then we also have a musical instrument called a xylophone. I do have one at Rainbow Preschool, but sadly I forgot to bring it home with me. But it usually has little colored bars on it, and you get kind of like a little drumstick, a little wooden stick, and you can hit the bars and they make different sounds and you can play music on it. So xylophone begins with X and X-ray begins with X. Those are the two words in our letter box today. Okay, so on our X binder page, we are going to try to draw an X-ray of your hand. So if you have had somebody help you trace your hand, a white crayon works perfectly, or if you have a piece of chalk, that also works really well, but sometimes it can smear later on. And I want you to, if you can, carefully look at this picture of an X-ray. See how this X-ray has bones in the fingers? And then down at the bottom, it has a bunch of little round bones in your hand. An X-ray is a picture of your bones inside of your body. So if you hurt your leg, maybe you had an X-ray of your leg. Or if you hurt your arm, maybe you have an X-ray of your arm. But today, we are going to draw an X-ray of the bones in our hand. This is a picture of one I did a couple of years ago. So I traced one of my friend's hands and I drew the little bones, kind of circles at the bottom, and then I drew all of the bones in my fingers. So take a moment, feel your fingers. See how you can have a bone here and in the middle. And our bones keep our hands strong, that they can bend. So that is what we are going to draw today. So I am going to take my picture. Max has really big hands, so it's almost off of the paper. I'm going to draw different little bones at the bottom of his hand, like our X-ray picture. Right there so you can see it. And then I am going to draw some longer lines for the bones in my fingers. How is that looking? Pretty good? Okay. So all we have to do is glue this or tape this to our letter X page. There is no cutting or markers today. So I'm going to add my glue to my black paper, not the side with your hand on it. Flip it over, and you'll want to swirl around, spread out your glue like we do at school. And then we are going to glue it on our paper and count to 10. Put it down in the middle of your paper. You do not want to cover up your X. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. We are going to let that dry while we work on our workbook page because we don't want our wet gluey paper in our binder yet. So the letter X is really easy, but it can be a little bit tricky sometimes. Parents or grandparents or aunts, uncles, babysitters, whoever might be helping, X is a really tricky letter. Sometimes it's harder than you may think. My friends, when they like to cross things out, it looks a little bit more like a T. So if you are helping your child with the letter X, this might be trickier than you may think. But we are going to work really hard on it. And X goes this way and that way. Okay? It starts over here and it goes this way. And then it starts at the top and it goes that way. So you're going to cross it out. Cross it off. I'm going to start at my top line and I'm going to cross this way and stop. And I'm going to start at the top line and cross that way and stop. It is very easy. But it does not go like this because that is a letter T. So we are going to erase that and we are going to make another X. Start at the top line. It goes this way and that way. Perfect. Lowercase x is exactly the same, just a little bit smaller. So we are going to start at the dotted line and go this way and stop, and that way and stop. Perfect. This way and stop, and that way and stop. All right, let's take a look at our workbook page today. This workbook page or section is going to start with S, T, and U. That is a review of our letters that you can work on your own. But we are going to open it up to our letter X page. And look what our picture to draw is today, or color. It is a picture of an X-ray. So we are going to need a black crayon and a pencil to complete our workbook page today. So we are going to start on the top line. We always start with our capital letters. We're going to start at the red line and go this way and stop. Start over that way and stop. Trace 2 more by yourself, and then we are going to try all by yourself. Start at the top blue solid line, this way and stop, that way and stop. It should cross right about at the dotted line. So this way and stop, that way and stop. Perfect. Now we're going to work on lowercase letters. Lowercase letters start at the dotted line. In X, it's the same, just a little bit smaller. So this way and stop, that way and stop. Try by yourself, and then we're going to try 2 or 3 more times all by yourself. This way and stop, that way and stop. Pretend you're a pirate practicing to bury your treasure. Perfect. All right, now we are going to color our X-ray picture. But take a look at this X-ray. What do you notice? The background is black and the bones in our hand stay white. So on our picture today, we are going to carefully color the background. But be really careful that you do not cover the bones because those need to stay white. There are some pretty tiny areas in our picture today. So do a really good job on this. I'm going to try to go fast so that the video is not too long, but you do the best job that you can. See how I made the background black, but my bones are white. When you're done, you can get your X sticker to add to your workbook page for doing such a great job. And at the bottom, we are going to trace capital X, uppercase X is for lowercase x, X-ray. All right, let's turn our paper over. Oh boy, circle the X's in this picture. Right at the top, it says X marks the spot. Let's see. Well, I see an X down here. Today we are not circling the words that begin with X, we're circling the X's in the picture because there aren't very many words that begin with X. So I see an X with our bones. I see an X on our pirate pocket. I see an X on the map. That's where the treasure is. I see an X on our pirate hat. I see an X on our treasure. Do you see any other X's? They always try. Oh, I see an X way up on this very top coconut. Perfect. Okay. Now it says trace and write the letter X. So this is a little bit different than any of our other workbook pages, but we're going to try uppercase X and lowercase x, and then try by yourself. Uppercase X and lowercase x. Then it says color the X. You can use any color you would like. We already have our black crayon out for the X-ray photo, but if you have a box of crayons near you, you can use a red X, like our pirates did on their map for the treasure. So we are just going to color our X. This way and that way. A big red X marks the spot. All right, my friends, you did a great job today. X can be a little bit tricky sometimes, but I know that you can do it. Just keep practicing, and I will see you again soon. Bye.